And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Blerim Lena, founder of the Holy Grail Portal, who says a powerful OBE experience in 2012 led him to explore hidden knowledge about consciousness and humanity's spiritual potential to bring heaven on earth. Blerim, thanks for joining us and welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Honest and reverence to you and everyone out there.
Well, Blerim, you claim that you've had an out-of-body experience where you have encountered something that appeared to be like a reincarnation trap. Tell us about it.
Basically, it happened on the day of my father's death. It was in September of 1990. And this is where it all started. Basically, I had an experience with an angel at that time. And so basically, I was playing some video games. It was Mario Brothers just came out. My father, he asked me to, in the doorway, he asked me to come to the soccer game with him and the family, which we would go on Sundays usually. And it was a difficult morning. So basically, he asked me if I want to come to the soccer game, and I told him no, I don't want to go. No, thank you. And he asked me again, "You sure you don't want to come?" And I said no, playing the video game. And all of a sudden, I had a voice come in my brain or my head. It told me, it was a woman's voice, older woman's voice. It said, "Go kiss and hug your father because the last time you're gonna see him." And I'm like, "What? Like, is my subconscious speaking to me? Is my mind playing tricks on me?" I was a young boy at the time, around 9 years old, and it repeated itself. "Go kiss and hug your father because the last time you're gonna see him." And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna listen to this voice I hear inside of me. I don't know why, but I'm listening. So as I go to get up from the floor playing the video game, I go to look up at my father, and I was blinded by light coming from my father. It was almost like looking into the sun or a very bright light. That's what very similar. I was kind of squinting my eyes. I go up to approach my father. I'm kind of like embracing my father. We had this perfect hallmark moment, father and son come together, and then he left. We said our goodbyes, and he ended up passing away that day. So that was the beginning of my kind of supernatural experiences. But to get to the NDE, or out of body experience, you could probably say, many different ways it's said or expressed. So I was This was 2012. I was practicing, trying to leave the body, astral projection, in combination of lucid dreaming, dream journaling. I had timers on every hour of the day, reminding me to be consciously aware of my dreaming or my wake, just kind of like a reality check. And I came to a point where I was getting close, coming out the body, and it became one night where I had an experience. I was trapped like in a vortex or tornado, and I was kind of floating in the middle of this tornado of energy, or this tornado, this very violent tornado, and I freaked out. I kind of went back in my body, after that I stopped, and I never heard anything about a tornado, or I never read anything at the time, 2012. I never heard anything like that, and it really scared me. I was like, "This is pretty very strange." And my brother actually confirmed it at the time. I was living above him, And he told me the next morning he had a nightmare that there was a hurricane going through his room. And I'm like, I had a like out of body experience last night with a tornado. I mean, uh, it seemed like it's related. And he got angry with me, and so I kind of just stopped doing it at that point. Then a few weeks later, it spontaneously happened. I had my out of body experience. So what happened was I had this floating feeling. This is a pond, sleep, in the evening time. So this floating feeling, floating up, 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 and I just was like, feel like I was just being attracted to something, like I was being pulled up to something or guided to something, like a magnet or something. That's probably the best way to describe it. And all of a sudden, I came to this place of light. This light, but the light was luminescence of like a fluorescent color, white, like moonlight, same color. And I was in this space of light, but I looked down on myself and I was an orb. I had no body. I was it kind of freaked me out. I'm like, I have no body, but I know who I am. I know where I lived. I know my parents. I know my whole life. I know where I went to school. All my memories of life were still there, but I just didn't have a body. I was just like a translucent, I guess, sphere of light. And what I remember shortly after that, I came upon like this gated area, and there were these angels or angel-like type of people on the outside of the gates, and but they they had long hair. They're like dressed in like robe-like attire, and I remember I started questioning them, and I remember they kind of looked at me sideways like this, like a side eye. I remember, and they kind of convinced me. They convinced me. I don't know how. I just wasn't aware enough. I wasn't smart enough. They convinced me to come in to this this heavenly realm. They're trying to welcome me to this heaven, and inside of this place was like a dome shape, similar to like a big football stadium or something like that. Maybe holding the souls there too. Also too were balls of light in this football stadium. It was filled like orb to orb, was just packed like a giant football stadium of souls. And um, they were like, go. There's like this lower tier where there's like a lower area where there was souls like in a harmony, like kind of like a big crowd of souls. And uh, they basically said, go join the harmony with the other souls in heaven here. Go join. I'm like, oh yeah, this is okay. You're supposed to go join the harmony, harmonize with those souls and stuff. Okay, but as soon as I went to go join their harmony or hive, you could say, um, I was like, shoot, I got tricked. They tricked me. And the reason why I say that is because I started to look at the other souls more closely, kind of like in the eyes or in the face, and they had these like a zombie like look to their eyes, like they were just like zombified, and they're just like they were they were finished. Their consciousness was no longer there. But then I realized my consciousness all my memories of who I was being taken from me as well. I was going to become like them, and I was so frightened, but also too I was mad as well. Before I got frightened, I was mad because I was like, I fell for this trap again. I had this recollection, like I've been here before many times. I keep falling for this scam here. I keep falling for this trap, this false heavenly realm, and I just haven't been smart enough yet. And I keep falling into it, and I keep losing my life's memory, and that's what was happening. So, and this thing that was taking this memory from me was almost like a I guess like an AI type of God creature or God being or something like that. Like it was very like extract data, extracting the data, extracting the memory from the soul. And I thought I was finished, going to be a zombie. And I guess by the grace of the creation or goodness or whatever, it I got shot out of there like it's the speed of light, like a lightning bolt back into my body, and I'm just like gasping for air, and my clothes were soaked with sweat. My body or my sheets were soaked with sweat, like profuse. Like I never sweat like that before in my life. Not like that. No, that was like I believe I was gonna have a heart attack, and that my body is preparing for death. I believe, and I believe when you hear people dying of heart attacks and uh, out there, like oh they just didn't wake up. Well, they could have had an OBE and they were they could have got went to the false light and or the false heaven, the false light, and their soul got extracted.
So many people believe in reincarnation and they believe that we come back with some type of amnesia because we don't remember our past lives. Are you saying that there is some being out there that eats our memories and that's why we come back not remembering anything?
Yeah, something like that. It's extracting or harvesting, yeah, energy, soul energy. This actually has been confirmed by remote viewers as well. You've had on your show, and if you go to their websites, for example, like Farsight Institute, you'll see their viewers confirm. Yeah, these are there's beings outside of space time that are harvesting souls in this encapsulation or firmament.
It's a very interesting theory about why we don't come back here remembering our past lives.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Now that you've experienced this, do you think you're going to be able to bypass this stadium of souls next time? And if so, how?
Ultimately, at the end of my life, the way I feel, it's kind of like what kind of go like with the ancients or some of the ancient texts, the Egyptian texts say your heart needs to be light as a feather. And the way I interpret that is you better give it your all for your highest good while you were here, and you better have no regrets. Like your mother can't say nothing to you, your father, your neighbor, like the creator of the universe can't say nothing to you. You've laid it all out on the line, and maybe perhaps your soul will be able to leave this firmament. But I've heard, there's different passwords, different Gnostic texts that describe certain passwords to leave, go through the firmament essentially and escape these archons they call them, and they're basically they coincide with the planets above us, and they're kind of like stopping you from your soul from leaving through this particular area. Like it's almost like a security system to keep souls trapped. Unless you really know what you're doing, and yeah, and perhaps maybe you might have a chance of leaving this firmament and um, maybe explore the universes, perhaps. Um, but I would think if your soul is able to leave here, you'd probably be very apprehensive ever trying to come back in. That's the issue. So maybe there are the few souls that have left here, but I doubt they want to come back in here because they don't have to go through this whole just chancing it. Like, oh shoot, what if I forget and I don't remember how to get out, and what am I gonna this I might as well stay out of here and hope. But maybe they formulated a plan. I don't know, but it seems like this information's kind of leaking out there these last 10 years or so, and um, yeah, I think it's. I personally think we have to come together as a collective, spiritual collective. It seems like these fallen ones, whatever you want to call them, ETs, fallen ones, seems like they operate as a collective. I've heard many stories of them, and I've read many, testimonies. I've heard many testimonies. I've read several books, and I would say it seems like they operate as a collective. And the thing is, we don't. We operate. We're so divided here and fractured in so many ways, and it's all manufactured, I believe. So we stay stuck here.
Was the stadium on the moon? Because some people believe the moon is a place that captures souls.
It had to be at least some type of maybe energetically. I'm not sure, but all I know is that place I was in had the same light as the moon and same fluorescence, same, kind of, I guess, not same shape, but it had a dome structure to it. The top, it seemed like a firmament structure, maybe a bit, or domed.
Well, do you think the moon is involved in the recycling of souls in some capacity?
Oh yeah, for sure. And actually, too, there's other researchers too, or actually the he mentions it. There's several researchers mention it, but there's a time, basically a time before the moon, and actually that African shaman Credo Mutwa speaks of that. We had the David Eicher interview, Credo Mutwa, and he talks of a time before in his secret society oral tradition. There was a time before the moon that existed here. There was a time, I believe it coincides with, it was perhaps cataclysms here, um, maybe perhaps, yeah, some type of uh, chopped down. Perhaps there was a tree of life at the center, which some people seem to think that's where the magnetic mountain, where all compasses point north to. Um, and that was once the tree of life at the center of our Earth. So yeah, the moon is actually. If you look it up too, there's some old like Buddhist paintings, and I haven't saved on my computer here somewhere. Basically, there's these old paintings that show like a Buddha pointing towards the moon, and when you translate the text, basically it tells you in that text, avoid the reincarnation trap or the moon. He's warning you by pointing that towards the moon. And these old paintings, these from some monastery somewhere, I'm not sure, but I've seen them before.
What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about our world?
That we're spinning, 1,000 miles per hour plus at the equator, and we come from, just we're flown through space as an accident, and yeah, we just don't know who we are, where we come from, and uh, yeah, it seems like everything here is the opposite of truth. And you seem like it's yeah, that's what I see. And I'm sure most people would agree. There's certain levels to this, but most people would agree that we're being lied to on a massive scale. There's just not everybody's going down the rabbit hole per se. Maybe not everybody wants to go down too. Everybody wants to know. Maybe perhaps it's similar to that Matrix scene. Like he says, "I don't want to know. Give me the steak. Give me the money. Give me the fame, the fortune, the women, whatever, and maybe you live comfortable."
Do you think the archons are the same thing as the ETs?
I think it's how it's described in a Gnostic text that the archons are essentially probably the planets, most likely, above our heads inside the firmament, and they're blocking you energetically because there'll be certain planets at certain altitudes essentially in through the firmament. So there'll be different archons you're gonna energetically come in contact with, or planets, and you have to kind of just float up above and go past them. and but they might not let you if you don't know those your energy's not right, or yeah, you don't know what to kind of, if you don't have any, like, maybe perhaps, yeah, the knowledge, the gnosis. How do you get through? What do you need to go to this point? Like, what tools do you need? What I guess it's like that with any adventure in life.
Some ancient cultures speak of a black sun or a hidden energy source inside the earth. Do you think that those myths are real?
I believe that wholeheartedly, and the reason why I believe it wholeheartedly is because it's something I believe I've connected to, and there's actually some recent scientific paper that was redacted um, some years ago on the internet. I think it was published some, I think, in 2019, and I stumbled upon it in 2020, and it basically says in this redacted paper in the Macedonian Scientific Journal, it basically says that there is a black, they call it the black brain, or black brain inside of the earth, that's connected to essentially our DNA in water. It's like connected energetically, you could say, in some type of way. And so it's literally connected, this black brain of communication network. It's literally connected to every one of us. The problem is people don't, in order to realize this, that you are literally a god particle, or an energetic particle, essentially connected through this membrane or brain. Black brain is called the black hole inside of the earth, which is almost like the spirit of the earth. That's where you get the term Holy Spirit, because there's two major holes inside of the earth, the north and the south. Just like us too, the earth and humans are modeled after each other. We have a north and a south, and we have major openings, the north and the south, entrance and exit. And yeah, so that's where I believe, and many others too as well out there, that all compasses point north to this magnetic anomaly. And this is where essentially there's a gateway, a major portal access way through other dimensions. Uh, and so, yeah, basically want to keep souls here trapped. And, that's why there's this argument, you could say, between Earth models, because this is the one that's the spinning ball one is propagated by these governments, which are controlled by these fallen ones who live beneath our feet. In fact.
Are you still having OBEs?
Oh yeah, I do on occasion. Yeah. The last one I had was probably about 6 months ago. I came on my bed in my room. I knew not to get too excited, because when you get excited, you jump back in. And then I noticed there's a portal in my room. I'm like, so this portal was where my internet router is.
Hmm.
It's pretty interestingly, but I didn't see the internet router there, not in that space. Usually when you have these astral projections, it seems the space changes a bit. There's always like something that's a little off. So my internet router was not there in the dream, but I did see a portal in that dream. But I was a little too apprehensive to go through the portal. I was like, if I go through, what if I come back? Then shortly after I came back my body. Actually, no, I had one about a month ago. Actually, that one was uh, I basically summoned the mirror. So I was lucid in a dream. The theory goes, you once you get lucid in your dream, you can summon the mirror. You say, somebody bring me a mirror, and somebody will just be, you'll see a mirror in the dream, or somebody will just bring you a mirror, and then through that mirror, um, theoretically, you're able to program the mirror and then go through the mirror as a portal. So if you wanted to go visit now, like, I don't know, the pyramids of Giza, you can program that portal with your spoken word. But the thing is, if you don't program it and you try to go through it, almost like you feel like you're going through, like, which that's what happened to me. I didn't program it correctly, and I started to go through the portal, and I felt like I was going through like dense water. My whole body felt like this dense water, but not wet, but just felt like I had this resistance going through me, but I didn't really go anywhere. I just kind of like went to this like white space that so I was like kind of blank. And then shortly after, I woke up.
What is the Holy Grail Portal?
Well, that's basically where all compasses point north is through this portal opening, which I'm proposing, and many others. There's a major portal opening that you can leave out of this realm, basically. And well, also, I mean, there's also to another entrance that from one of those maps I sent you. It's actually a German Nazi map that was made in, I believe, I don't know exactly when, but it seemed like it's pretty old, probably in the 1940s maybe or 50s. And that shows a black hole on the map. It says black hole at the South Pole on the map. And I suspect that black hole at the south is probably a portal entrance to maybe like a hell realm, perhaps. And maybe the one in the north is more like a heavenly realm, if you can get through, or heavenly access.
I can't imagine anybody wanting to go through the bad one.
I don't know, these ETs, it seems like they run the bad ones as well. There's so much, I guess, when you hear a lot of people experiences of hell experiences, you'll hear them talking about demons and these types of creatures, and I think they're kind of all interconnected. To be honest, they're kind of like maybe like they're kind of one and the same. They're kind of maybe one in different form, maybe. Um, and they kind of all work together for sure. So I think they're all kind of related. They're all connected. They're all friends, but they don't really let us know, or they pretend to let us know. And I've heard so many channelers say certain things, and it's like um, I just don't believe. I don't believe any of them. They think they're just a lot of deception going on.
Tell us about the hidden knowledge that you've learned about consciousness.
What I've learned these last about 6, 7, 8, about 9 years now, I learned there's a particular way where you can alter your consciousness, and that could only dramatically be done through your own DNA, which is your blood. And the way you can do that is what they call is like the king's magic. There's like the highest form of magic is known as the king's magic, which is with the kings and queens. What they do is black magic on us. They cause wars and mayhem, and they're doing black magic on us as a collective. And I think you just clearly see that. Just look at the wars going on right now as we speak in everywhere, and there's yeah, that's black magic being done in front of our faces, but whether people realize it or not. And that's what's fueling this realm. That's what's fueling this these ideas, and yeah, and ultimately it's fueling just fueling their loose farm, and yeah, they want to squeeze as much as they can out of us. It seems.
You say that the human heart is more than just a pump, and it could be connected to consciousness and creation
Yes.
itself. How does that work?
Well, what I suspect is at the center of our hearts, there's a vortex that occurs every time your heart pumps. It's like a tornado vortex coming in and out, and you'll see all the how a heart is basically like a wrap, like fibers is wrapped up into each other, and it's like a vortex. And so it's just at the center of this vortex. Every time your heart pumps, it's literally being connected to the spirit of the earth. You almost have like a little electrical signal or a black hole signal. This very small black hole just phasing in and out, and this it's the power of our bodies. Literally, this is the powerhouse of their body. Think about it. Just like an engine turns or spins, this is our pump. This is pumps. It fuels the whole body. It turns everything on. And without this pump working, your whole body shuts off. And so yeah, literally, we have a spirit. We're a spirit incarnated a body. Literally, the problem is people never realize this uh, until you can do something with that spirit inside of you. That's the question I'm proposing to people out there. Like we know this knowledge, we know this information. It's so messed up. It seems like it's only getting worse. Like, what are we going to do about it? That becomes a question. What are we going to do about it? And ultimately, I believe, and many others do, this knowledge has been erased and taken off all through the internet. I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's uh, it's banned. Anytime you mentioned blood, it's banned. I'm like, oh, so you mean you can't? It's like, oh, you can see blood on horror movies. You can see blood on TV and wars. Video games. But as soon as you mention, oh, like it's actually even banned in GPTs. You can't mention even a lancing device. They'll say, oh, you're trying to cause self harm. Oh, because it's a powerful thing there, and they're trying to block us from seeing the power of our own God particle surging through our bodies. Like, so we have a power inside of us. So it beg the question. So like, what do you want to do about it? And this is what I'm proposing, is to unite as a collective through our blood. It's simply writing out an intention to bring heaven on earth. Putting one drop of blood on it and uploading it, and I know all I know is I'm giving my best, and this is my best here. I'm trying to do like my highest good, and I think people should ask themselves that question: like, what do you want to do here? What do you want to be known as when you leave here? What do you want to, what do you want to accomplish here? Do you just want to die comfortably? Do you want to, buy a plot for yourself? And, like, is this the meaning of life here? Or is it to, change this place, change yourself? Just like that paper said in the Macedonian Journal, our our blood is connected to this spirit. But once you manifest this spirit or energy out in the physical, you never even know you have it.
Speaking of bringing heaven on earth, don't you believe that instead of trying to escape the earth and escape the archons and other evil entities out there, you prefer to bring heaven here on earth?
I think so, because I believe this place once was how it's been described by the Gnostics and the remote viewers. This place was once a paradise, and it was basically infiltrated. This firmament was infiltrated by maybe a species from another firmament, which is also known as like kind of the, I guess, reptilian species. It seems like that's where it actually too. I mean, sorry to say this, but actually we're part reptilian as well. So we're hybrids actually of this species. We're hybridized, and the reason why I say that is we have a reptilian core at our brains, and we're an image. We're almost like a dual being where we're like what they call Satan's world. So our bodies are of Satan, you could say. Our bodies are of Satan, but we have the spirit of God inside of us. And this is a duality that we live in. And these reptilians created us and manipulated us, genetically engineered us, messed with us, and but it's up. It's ultimately we're trapped here in this realm, and it's up to us to become aware of it. Okay, well, we've been manipulated, we've been genetically engineered, and we've been harvested many times. Perhaps now it's time to put an end to this.
Are you saying that we can force the archons to leave? Or what should we do to bring heaven here on earth?
I think we need a miracle, to be honest. That's what I'm proposing. We need like a spiritual connection here together, and I guess we gotta use our power our own like hearts, which is manifested through our blood, and that's the only solution I could think of. 'Cause I've heard so many people, talk about what to do here, and it's like, I think no real physical solution exists, but somehow connecting through our spirit of our hearts together. And yeah, that's the only way I see it. I don't know. I would love somebody else to propose a different idea, but I have a better idea, but I haven't heard it yet.
Many of my guests say that we either are in the ascension or we're going to go through an ascension. And I believe you think that we are going to go through some type of an awakening. Is that really what's going to save us from the archons?
Yeah, we have to awaken as a collective, and use our power to our best ability while we have the chance here. And I think honestly, I mean, there's a lot of different things that are encoded, but a lot of people probably disagree with me, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do stuff like that. That's too much," or "That's when it's not when it says in the Bible," and different things. And but people that I fail to realize, once you do more research, it's that I believe all religions are kind of extraterrestrial influence. And that is all data too, backed up by remote viewers. If you go to the Farsight Institute, and or even different clips of Courtney Brown speaking, you'll see it. It's all the Buddha is engineered by extraterrestrials. Jesus is engineered by extraterrestrials. Like any spiritual leader that we've known of, they all been manipulated and manufactured. You could say almost like kind of like in the Matrix. There's been different Neos. They've been Once you look into the story more, you'll see there's been very different versions of Neos that they just manufactured and then threw another Christ figure in, or another Jesus, or another Buddha, or another Muhammad, or whatever. They just kind of threw different versions in, and just like in that movie, yeah, very similar.
I've had Dr. Brown on a few times, and he believes in the prison planet theory, that this is the prison of the galaxy. Do you agree with him?
I think so. Yeah, we're locked down here, but also too we're being harvested too. So that's another aspect to it. We're being harvested on a soul level, also too on a physical level. That's a whole other story. But uh, I've heard many accounts of people being harvested, deep underground. So missing children and all these types of things. So we're probably being harvested on many levels, probably more than people know.
He's never talked about the harvesting with me, but he does believe that the good ETs are going to come and free us. Do you agree with that?
I honestly I wouldn't hold my breath. So it's like saying, "Oh, we're gonna get saved one day." It's like we'll save you one day, and nah, The only thing I see is our risen Savior. Literally, is the sun above your head.
After watching this podcast, people may want to reach out to you and ask you questions. Are you open to that?
Oh, sure, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
How do they contact you?
They can go right to the website, Holy Grail Portal.com, and yeah, they can. I got a free, a free map. People can come down and download, and the map of the hidden, basically the hidden. It's called the flatty Earth map or flat Earth map. This link to what I found this in a German Telegram group, and this has it's a very interesting map. It actually has it's also known as the Earth Moon map as well, and you and basically the reason why we know this, or you can kind of do your research, but is through a YouTuber called Vibes of the Cosmos, and what they discovered was they took an image of the moon, they inverted the image with like a Photoshop program, and you're able to see all these kind of hidden. You see our continents of our Earth, and you'll see all these hidden continents. And as soon as I seen that map, I'm like, oh, that's it. That's the moon. That's the moon. Because I already knew of Vibes of the Cosmos. And yeah, so I don't know how these German Nazis, had the information. Maybe, I mean, it does show UFOs on the map as well. So maybe they had their own UFO. They're able to kind of, um, yeah, it shows their different faces on the map outside of basically the Antarctic ice wall. These hidden continents beyond the ice wall, different civilizations. Um, yeah, it's pretty interesting map.
Blerim, before we finish up, can you leave us with a last positive message?
They said we need to join as a collective here to bring heaven on earth, and everybody has a choice, and choose wisely.
Blerim, thank you for your message, and thank you for being my guest.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.